Let's all drink to Youll! To drink Youll, I'll get to that later. Just Lennart here to guide you through this special time of the year. Well, I give you information, you listen. And that's some insight in Danish tradition and why on earth we in Scandinavia celebrate Christmas the 24th instead of the 25th. And some insight in some very weird, strange Danish Christmas traditions. Cue the intro! Well, okay, no, I don't have an intro yet. Greetings, YouTube and people beyond. It's Christmas time and I thought to myself that why not start this channel with some good old-fashioned Christmas joy? And then I just browsed through YouTube to find something on this subject and I found a lot of it. So that kind of ruined the idea. But I didn't find any video about those Danish traditions, those really weird Danish traditions. Let's start with a familiar tradition, the Christmas goat. This has its roots way back to the Viking Age. And I know, you've seen way too much Marvel and you didn't even know that Thor had his two goats pulling his chariot. Their names, Tangjoit and Tandgnisner. Side note for those history buffs on the channel. Their names means those that grind their teeth. Yeah. The Christmas goat looked like this today. You decorate your homes with it, always in a pair of two. It wasn't always like this. Things were a bit absurd in the old days. There was this absurdity in the middle ground where the Christmas goat actually were the farm guy, the farm worker who was dressed up in white sheets and wore a mask with goat's horn. He then proceeded to crash every Christmas party he could find and insulted every guest and made obscene jokes, and really if you invited him today you'll probably kick him out. But not in that time. These people that were interrupted by the Christmas goat, they paid him in a bunch of appelskiver, we'll get to that later, and a bunch of alcohol. The more the better. The more alcohol the better. He got really drunk and proceeded to the next house and crashed that. But this eventually stopped in the 1900s where alcohol were not cheap. So the Christmas goat proceeded to be the giver of gifts to kids. No Santa, just a man dressed as a goat giving gifts. Yeah. Next up, well, this isn't a tradition, this is more of a statement from Scandinavia to you. Here in Scandinavia, we still call Christmas Youll. It's a heathen word derived from the word Youll, Y-U-L-E, sometimes without an E. Youll means essentially party! It's true, look it up. When the Christians came to Scandinavia, they essentially wanted to butt in on this winter party! You know, our Yule time. Juletid. But you know your history, the church made it all about little baby Jesus. So instead of drinking for Odin, we drink for baby Jesus. Yay! One of the oldest quotes in Danish history books is the quote that says, "Jeg vil drikke jul til søs." Translated, I will drink Yule at sea. If you ever see a Scandinavian at Christmas time, ask him if he would like to drink Youll. he'll probably pop up a snow beer. But eventually the Scandinavians obliged to the new church rules and drank for baby Jesus. But we never quite took hold of the word Christ Mass. No Christ, no Mass. We still kept our good old Youll. The church managed to put a lid on all the headbutting, skull cracking, drinking and fighting and drinking, and put a bit more of a family-friendly Youll. Now the whole headbutting, skull cracking, orgy, drinking, party, fighting thing, we still got that. It's called julefrokost. Translated, Christmas lunches. It's not a lunch, but it's, yeah. But that's held before Christmas and after Christmas, after Youll. So, yeah. So now to a more spooky Christmas tradition. It's fair to say that it's important to place a candle in the window to remember your loved ones, your dead ones, and hoping they will come home and give joy and feelings and goodness and yeah. But in that time, in that period, in the old medieval Danish time, people were superstitious. Very much so. So yes, they placed the candles in the windows to guide the dead to their houses. But there was a problem, because the dead didn't absolutely have to be the loved ones of the family in. There could be trolls, goblins, ghouls, nisser, good nisser, bad nisser. I can't even... Nisser is a whole subject for itself. But people were so hoping that their family would return, so they, on Christmas Eve, they didn't even sleep in their beds. They slept on floors and in the barns, stables, so that the loved dead ones could sleep on the bed. Yeah. But protection was good, so you needed iron. You need iron above the doors, and you need to stab a knife in the frame of the door just to make sure that evil didn't penetrate. Yeah. Oh, and hide your broomsticks, because witches will steal all your broomsticks. So don't go around throwing all your broomsticks. Hide them in the closet. Otherwise, witches will take them. Oh, and the plow. Put the plow into the barn. Close and shut the door, because if a witch sits on a plow, then all your fields will be ruined. And we talk about being stressed today. But what is Christmas without Christmas games and beer? Ooh. One of the more naughty Christmas games is called to roll Christmas cake. You have all these guys and girls in a room called julestuer, Christmas living rooms. That was a popular thing in the way back when. And they partied, they drinked, and they partied some more, and they made a lot of... They played a lot of games, especially this one. Roll Christmas cake, you have a man, you place him on the table. Right? With me so far? Then you take a woman, place her on top of the man, stomach to stomach, face to face. And then all the other guests around, they roll the woman over the guy, kept on rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Yeah. Nah, perhaps a bit inappropriate for today's standards. Æbleskiver. Apple slices, if you translate it correctly. I told you we'll be back on this subject. Æbleskiver are small dough balls. And when I say it like that, it doesn't sound that delicious. So no wonder I've seen so many sitcoms making fun of it. Æbleskiver dough is probably more in line with the pancake dough. And you put it in a æbleskiver pan, a pan with the holes in it, and then you roll it and yeah. People just buy them today. Basically, they are just little balls of pancakes, and you eat it with powdered sugar and strawberry jams. I like to break them open, pull out the dough, put in some ice cream, and dunk it in chocolate sauce. Then you need warm glögg to drink. Basically just spiced wine. Warm spiced wine. In the old days, people melted sugar in the wine to make it sweet and warm. But they found out that once you put fire to alcohol, then all the alcohol vaporizes and there's not much alcohol in it, so they stopped doing that. There isn't that much more about glögg. Who doesn't like warm, spiced wine on a cold evening? These are just a few of the traditions. I could go on forever and ever, but we don't have the time for that. Oh, I almost broke my promise. I wanted to share with you why Scandinavians are spending Christmas on the 24th and not the 25th like the rest of the world. You see, the old Norse had a saying, "Ved kväll skal dag leve." In the evening, day will live. And they had no way to tell time. And here I was under the impression that everybody had a cheap watch from Wish. But the saying said that once darkness settled in, a new day started. Why should we wait until the morning? Sun goes down, time to drink, party, eat, feel joy, drink. So that's why we celebrate Christmas on the 24th. We didn't have any watches. And we had a saying that when darkness came, a new day began. So that's why. Now you know. And we drink. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video. There are of course plenty of more traditions, but I couldn't go over all of them. So these were just the ones I had here. Oh, and if you care to see one of my other videos where I do a drawing of a car, check up here, and a drawing of Dutch Vandalin down here. And if you would like to subscribe, press my face. Cease!